This fair-skinned Australian made the terrible mistake of thinking the Vaquero was nothing more than an inexperienced rancher. He left the Aztec with no choice but to deliver a beating so brutal and bloody that it should be considered prohibited material for public viewing. Luckily, we're free to show you, in today's video, what happens when you challenge Vaquero Navarrete. Stick around until the end to see how this sad story unfolds. Content. To relive these violent events, we must travel back to February 3rd, 2023 and place ourselves in Phoenix, Arizona. This was the date when Vaquero Navarrete would make his long-awaited debut in the 130-pound division, in a fight that also had the WBO World Boxing Organization belt on the line. Of course, to achieve his goal, he first had to get past an Australian fighter who was labeled as aggressive and known in the ring for dismantling his opponents from start to finish. His endurance, combined with his punching power, forming a lethal combination for anyone daring to stand before him. At that time, the Mexican fighter's professional record already boasted 36 victories, 30 of them by knockout, with only one previous loss. So regardless of what his opponent might have claimed, he was far from a rookie. Known for his unorthodox fighting style, there was every chance he'd be the one to deliver a surprising performance in the ring. His effectiveness was so striking it seemed inherited directly from the most powerful ancient Aztec warriors. In retrospect, this fight has already gone down in history as one of the wildest encounters in Navarrete's boxing career. But it hasn't only marked a historic chapter, it has also stood out in recent years as a Roman-style bloodbath unmatched in terms of the sheer brutality both fighters reached. Wilson tried to mock Navarrete's experience, starting the fight with the intention of skipping that crucial first round of studying, so important for figuring out the right strategy to approach an opponent. Unfortunately for him, Navarrete wasn't just a rock thrower, and charging in without thinking twice was his first and biggest mistake.
The name doesn't matter. Just like sparring, you find your and you take advantage of the open.
Early in the fight, at a point where there was no excuse like desperation or blind aggression, the Australian began throwing illegal punches at the Mexican, so blatant that the referee had to step in and warn him that his behavior wasn't that of a fair fighter.
Mind that Navarrete is notoriously a slow starter.
There's that.
I don't see any excess movement from Wilson. That speaks to the...
Navarrete's response made one thing very clear. He didn't step into that ring to let the Australian disrespect the sport in front of everyone. And since Wilson clearly wanted a fight, the situation only grew more tense and hostile. The Vaquero made a mistake that left him wide open for a deadly left hook, cleanly landed and sending him straight to the canvas. Dropping his guard, he couldn't avoid the Australian's brutal assault. Caught off guard, his only option was to gather the pieces of himself scattered by the blow and try to rebuild, stronger and sharper.
He seems to be right at home at the moment.
Navarrete lunging with that left. Warning coming here from Flores, the referee.
Hey, that was payback from the last.
To deny that at this point the Vaquero was hurt, in trouble, and disoriented would be like trying to cover the sun with one finger. The Mexican fighter was standing at the edge of the abyss and was saved only by the bell. Now he had a bit of time to return stronger than ever, or simply open the door for the Australian to fulfill his greatest dream, adding a true Aztec warrior to his list of fallen foes. In the opposite corner, Wilson already thought the victory was in his hands, once again underestimating the power of Aztec blood, which, when in danger, only grows stronger. Perhaps overconfidence was his second biggest mistake in the fight, one that would blow up in his face sooner than he could have imagined.
Or fake a punch, leave his feet, and then throw a left hook like that, moving forward. It's amazing.
I'm not sure it looks too much different than any other time that we've seen it.
Got him.
To see how he responds.
He slips that time.
To a first.
Took after it.
And that's what he needs to do more of, Tess. He needs to let his hands go. Don't wait for this to happen.
And Navarrete go.
Hit him in the solar plex, hit him around the guards as often as I could.
Stop! And now Navarrete's hurt here in round 4. Wilson on the attack. Two-punch combination from Navarrete. And it goes back. Oh, he got caught. Wilson catches. Massive underdog has a big opportunity. A 36-win veteran.
Navarrete seemed to wake up in the 6th round, throwing powerful combinations and trying to regain control of the fight. However, things got messy once again, and his plan didn't unfold quite the way he had hoped. The Vaquero managed to survive yet another onslaught, and if you think you've already seen the best from both fighters, then you clearly don't know what you're talking about.
other people in the corner, and he was telling his father, everyone,
And finish to the head. Good shot right there from Navarrete.
Goodness,
He
right in the
follows
solar
straight in, right to the body.
He
Saw
had
Wilson
all the
deflate.
moment right there. And this is why Wilson better step on the gas, because Navarrete,
Does his power, would it translate into this 1/3 shot very, very well? And can he take
Again, but still keeps coming forward. Three. Is on the shot. Big shot by Wilson.
he's hurt.
Wilson did it again. But perhaps didn't realize how much guts and desire. Moments. Wilson's on the attack, and Navarrete is hurt.
In the next round, both of them took the violence in this fight to a whole new level, creating absolute madness in the ring. From this point on, the tables began to turn, and it would be Wilson who found himself facing one of the biggest challenges of his entire career.
Recklessly aggressive, recklessly offensive.
But nobody's been able to, understanding and knowing that he was going to take shots from Navarrete.
For Wilson, even though he landed that right hook.
Again,
that was
wrapping
mean.
around that elbow,
That was
and
mean.
Navarrete getting after it here to close out round 7. Much more pronounced now. Navarrete mixing in that body shot.
By the time Vaquero scored his first knockdown, fate had already chosen its winner. It was only a matter of time before the rest of us mortals realized it.
It's like Jeff Horn and George Kambosos, but this is trying to chase him down. Navarrete comes straight in against Wilson. Wilson rallied in the 5th, rallied in the 7th, and then does the signature punch of Navarrete. Right hand, uppercut, combination. Wilson seeking to become a 3-division world champion. Big one from Navarrete. Navarrete with a left hand. Sweeping right hand, drives down. Coming from his nose, taking big shots. Headshot comes in again. Another big headshot. Wilson's in deep trouble here.
They got to get in there.
Big.
The very same referee who had counted Vaquero's knockdown earlier now had to step in and call for mercy on behalf of Wilson, who was trapped against the ropes, absorbing bombs as if his body had been designed for punishment, completely unable to respond.
Down from Navarrete. Body shot mixed in. It is over.
After this hellish scene, the Vaquero proved to Australia and the world that tricolor blood should never be underestimated. Closing. If you've made it this far, thank you. Remember, the best way to support my content is by giving the video a like. Do you think Wilson ever had a real chance at beating Navarrete, or did the Vaquero have him in his pocket all along? I'll be reading your comments.